all right. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It's Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation, back on another one. Back for another one with the clean shave, you know what I'm saying? I gotta show it off whenever I do it, because, you know, sometimes I get away from it and it grows back. It was growing back big time. The stubble was coming in so much, it was going beyond shadow and turning into a almost solid gray patch of hair. I said, oh no, we're not doing that. We gotta smooth this baldy out. We gotta get it back. We gotta get back to the standard here. You know what I'm saying? We done set a standard, we gonna stick to the standard. You know. I sometimes think, you know, the actor in me, like, I would enjoy doing a role where, you know, they got stuff now, techniques where they can give you a whole head of hair, create a man weave, so to speak, that is insane. I've seen these techniques. It's crazy what they can do. Like, you know, you want to have a whole head full of cornrows, they can do it. Like, for real. And it will look real, too. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it done got cold again, y'all. Yep. Yeah, it done got cold again. I done got sleepy again. Oh my goodness. I'm so sleepy. I think it's the weather though. I know myself. Whenever it's overcast like this, rainy and overcast and all that stuff, it makes me drowsy. It makes me definitely want to just go to sleep, man. Plus, I didn't get all the hours I wanted. I wanted at least one more hour would have been really good, but it didn't go that way. I had to get on up and get to it, so here we are, making it happen. One way or another, gotta make it happen. But what's up, 21 in the building? How y'all doing? If you can hear my voice, give me that thumbs up. Salute. Did I say it 20 times? What's happening? Show some respect, y'all. What's good with y'all? You know what's weird? It's almost like I could make a generalization that for every 20 people, there's only one person that's got the good heart and mind to respect the energy of being online and seeing another human being speaking to them. And if they come in their feed, they take a moment and say, yeah, I recognize your presence. And, you know, like, even if you don't know what the person's talking about, right? Even if you don't know yet, you're trying to figure out, okay, what's he talking about? What's he doing? You know, I know how that is. Whenever we come to somebody's life, you want to figure that out. But if you see that this person is not doing anything dysfunctional, anything weird, anything crazy, they might just be shooting the breeze, whatever. At the point where you recognize it to not be any issues, any drama, anything harmful or disrespectful to your existence or anyone else's, where's the harm in pushing that little button that says thumbs up? Where's the harm? Where's the harm? Like, I literally do that when I go into some people's lives that I don't know, that I may not even want to continue to watch their stuff. Like, I'll know as soon, I know in like 3 seconds whether or not this is something I want to keep watching. But even if it's not, but I like the person's energy, I like what they're seem to be about. You know, you can't figure nobody out in 3 seconds, but, you know, whatever they seem to be about, yeah, man, whatever. You know, hit the button, shows love. Because as a YouTuber, I understand how important it is to push the algorithm. I know how important it is to let this thing know, hey, keep an eye on this person. They worthy of the growth. Let them excel. Don't gatekeep. Let this person shine. They got something valuable to share with the world. Like, there's a guy who, the last time I did this, and I don't go through the lives here that often. I'm usually too busy making my own, you know. If I cut on YouTube, I'm going live more than I'm either going live, I'm watching something, to get some information, or I'm doing some research to plan on my next video or whatnot. But the last time I went through just like whoever was live at the time I clicked on, like simultaneously, who's out here, who's alive, what they doing. I remember I was going through and I saw this dude, I believe he's Mexican, because I know the style of music he was playing is a traditional form of Mexican party music. And he had this really ill instrument. I couldn't tell if this is something he done made himself or is this something that is common. But it looks like a harp. And he plays it like a harp, but it's got a keyboard on it too. And it makes like 9 or 10 different sounds at one time. It's amazing. Like, this dude got some Ventures LLC is the company that is the developer of the Soto project. This is huge, actually. This is all timely in getting something together by the time of the FIFA World Cup. That's what it's really all about. They're gonna kick it all off with all the money they're gonna make off of all the rentals and all of the money that's gonna flow through Atlanta when FIFA hits. And I'm not complaining about that part. I look forward to FIFA. It's gonna be off the chain. I'm not even complaining about revitalization and new, really cool neighborhood stuff. And I like revitalization. I like it when it's inclusive and considerate of those who made the place possible for centuries. Okay, all right. And I'm not saying they're not doing it. I gotta see what they're doing. Like I said, the way I even found out about it was there was a black-owned bookstore. So I'm damn sure not complaining to know that that's a reality. That's cool. That's very cool. But I gotta go see this bookstore. I gotta see what they're doing. I gotta see what the whole neighborhood is like. I want to see all of it. I want to see, right? But when I looked up the two gentlemen, with no surprise, who were the owners of this project, this company that is doing the redevelopment, I'm surprised neither one of them were from New York, honestly. But I still know that that's where they got the, when they sat around in the office, and people don't just make up stuff and be like, yeah, that sounds great, let's go with it. Yeah, no. Everything's thought out, typically toiled over, and by jury of committee decided upon as this will be the title we're going with. I mean, you're naming an entire development venture a thing. They're gonna be real picky about that name, right? And hope it's catchy and hope it works, and say to themselves, I think this is what we want to call it, and this, that. So they bought up a bunch of, we talking about 10 blocks. I say small, but let me say what I mean when I said small earlier. That's not small, but compared to Soho in New York, yeah, that's small. And, stuff is huge, man. Stuff is huge in New York. It's a lot of, the whole, New York is one big ass city. It's just city. We talking about the boroughs. It's city. Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, but especially Manhattan, which is the city. It's all the city, all the boroughs, but everybody really talking about New York, singing the songs and dancing in the street. They talking about Manhattan. And that's nothing but a bunch of buildings in the city. So block for block, it's urban as a mother. It's just all urban, Central Park, okay, we let some grass and trees stand, but the rest, urban. That's it. And that's urban, The squirrels talk like this. I'm sure they do. The birds, they talk like this. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. I swear. New York. What? So, but I'm going to tell you, for real, seriously, I think that they sat around and said, we want the historic sophistication. We see the familiarity of the historic buildings as they pertain to the era of how the buildings in the Soho district in New York are. And I'm more than sure they're well-traveled, these two very well-off, privileged, young, 20-something, 30-something white executives, because I looked them up and saw their pictures and everything. And yeah, good for them, man. They're doing big things. Honestly, I didn't think they would be so young. They're young, shit. They're young. They are not what I expected to see when I flipped that picture and said, well, who are these guys anyway, right? Young guys, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to see some old-ass dude that, shaking hands with the current tyrant in office and, playing golf with him and everything. I mean, they may still be on that. Who knows? You never know what people's politics. But I'm saying, that type, the older generation, they don't care if a lot of them just put it right on out there. Like, yeah, that's my guy, So I was expecting that. I was stereotyping the typical of the project. But we are in a new age. We are literally in the age of, that's why it's such a paradigm shift of energy right now, that this is a time when a lot of young folks who grew up on hip-hop and seeing other people's perspectives could make a lot of change in the world if their heads are right, This is when all the biggest changes can happen. And in some ways they are happening, don't get me wrong. I do see the efforts of those who are open to diversity, who are trying to make sure everybody has a say in the development because they recognize their privilege is a privilege, and they are not in denial that they didn't have to literally work for everything they've acquired, that they've been given a lot of prestige just by birthright of being in a certain tax bracket and being of a certain ethnicity and things. They're not under no illusion. Some, S-O-M-E, like a mug, right? And then there are those who just fall right in line with, they think they're being different, they think they're doing something different from what their parents and grandparents did, and not being racist. They just don't say the words, they don't do certain things, but in terms of opportunity, in terms of inclusion, in terms of representation in a neighborhood and in a district and in an area, they're not necessarily stepping up to bat. So like I say, for me to find out about this through knowing that there's a black-owned bookstore speaks volumes. It makes me more curious. What are y'all doing over there? That sounds interesting. I want to see. So this is some content we plan to do. And as I always say, like, yo, if you like what I'm talking about and want to see more of the content when I do the vlogs and things like that, visit stores and cool places and interview people and all that, support the channel direct. Send financials. $25 and up will get you a shout out if you have a business on the video. You can have your logo featured in the video. These are the official sponsors of the content you're about to watch. Without them, we can't make it happen. This is the monetization nation. And I've done it so many times, I go hoarse thinking about it. Because it's already out there, examples of what I mean. Like, you look back at all my festival videos for the most part, any major events and things you find in the playlist, look through the playlist so you can really see what the channel is about as a whole for multi-niche content here on ONYXCON. And you'll see examples of what I mean, how I start off video, sometimes at the very beginning, sometimes in the middle, but I always get it, sometimes at the end too. But I get those shout outs, I show those logos, and I shout out those people who put the money down for me to have the gas, for me to have the time, for me to have what I need resource-wise to make this content. And it's a win-win for everybody involved, because long after the content has been made and it's still up, it's getting views. When this channel gets monetized, people be watching stuff I made. Man, people still be watching my house in the park videos from 3 years ago because they're just that good. And the music is timeless. The moment is timeless. You can enjoy it over and over and over again. It's like watching a concert's footage. It's really amazing, right? So, yeah. We're going to have to cover this Sodo thing. I like I said, I really think the name is kind of, as soon as I heard it, it may grow on me because it's gonna have to. Once I realize it's a developer that did it, it's not colloquial. It's not even like they're gonna get hip to something and then run with it. No, they're the reason why people are running with it. The whole neighborhood was named this under the name of their company. Shit, they bought the land, they bought the dirt, people. Sheesh, what kind of money do these kids have? What kind of trust fund babies are these? Like, golly, 10 blocks? That's that real money, man. That's that real money. That's that, his family and the other guy's family together is definitely billions. You understand? Like, for real. That's serious. That's serious money, man. Ain't gonna get it all back, like already counted for it and already, that's the kind of dirt. When they announced the project, within the first quarter of, pre-purchase of leases and things, they already got whatever percentage of a great, they got to meet a certain percentage to make sure they get return on profit and all their investors are good. Man, they've been made that money. And then whoever's waiting gonna get theirs when the FIFA come through. Hardcore. All the restaurants and everything, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. The momentum building up. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's amazing, y'all. But this is that world, man. This is that real new Atlanta. And some of this stuff in terms of what I just said about the business, this has been forever. That ain't nothing new. They say they bought it from a German company, a German developer that owned majority of those properties they ended up buying. I said, wow, see what I'm saying? Just old money, man. Old money. Just switching hands, that's all. Switching hands. New day, same old game, right? But yeah. I gotta see what's up, because I just don't want them, like, okay, we let you get away with Sodo, they gonna do what they gonna do, they bought it, shit. But it would be really funny though if after this, another developer, names their project, I don't know, freaking, I'm trying to think of something that would be so, oh man, like Melrose Place, like they're from LA, or they love LA so much they name it after Melrose. And we know that's a show and all that too, but I'm just saying, like, as soon as you say Melrose, it's a whole zone, it's a whole thing, right? And it speaks to LA, which is not here. You say Soho, that's New York. So if you say anything that's so close to Soho as Sodo, like, who are these New Yorkers invading and putting their brand up? And they make it so bad. One guy was from Florida and the other guy was from Atlanta via Brookhaven, which is not the city, okay? Not at all. It's actually above, right? It borders Lenox. You ever hear people talking about Lenox area and Lenox Mall? It literally borders that. That's Brookhaven. So it goes like Lenox, Brookhaven, Chamblee, and all of that up there, right? But man, when I tell you, I just laugh. I say, man, this is amazing. This is amazing. You see how the money flows and what you can do. You get the money, you buy some stuff, you can name it whatever you want. And whether people like it or not, you know, it's gonna be inside of apps and stuff. Like, people gonna be getting in taxis and getting in Ubers saying, yeah, take me to Sodo. And our driver gotta know what that means. Like the name or not, you're gonna have to know, you're gonna have to use it. So yeah, it's a real power trip. It really is. I just wish people, like I said, it was less in their office with it, consult the communities around who's gonna be affected, you know. And even if you are buying up a bunch of stuff that's closed down and all that, there's still people that walk the streets every day to work and otherwise that want to know, you know, have you even considered the history of their existence and what do they call the area? Like, what do y'all call this? It's just downtown. Right, exactly. I guarantee that's all they're gonna say. Now, you want to call it something else, all I'm saying is just don't name it something so close to something from somewhere else. Let's make up our own names. It's like when they name teams. They ask the people, look, we got the money, we're the billionaires. We know we want to call it something like this, but what do y'all think? We did a little research. We found out, like, I'll never forget, somebody broke down the history of how the Baltimore Ravens got named as a team. And they said they pulled off of the famous poem by Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven. And I thought, that's so freaking cool. And that there was some history to Baltimore with Edgar Allan Poe. So they tied that in to the city and his history. And then they tied in, you know, he's a great writer, he's notable, he's legendary. The poem is legendary. The bird is legendary, you know, as a species of, a whole family of species of types of ravens. But, you know, it was thought out. It wasn't just, oh, haphazard, whatever I want. They asked the people, like, yo, we want fans to be rooting in a stadium that we're going to use their tax dollars to build, in addition to development and all kind of stuff going to go into this when you have a team in a city. So that's all I'm saying. Sodo.